I'm so busy today. My wife is out of town. She took the weekend to go hang out with a friend. I woke up this morning, cleaned up the house, hit the gym, made breakfast, went shopping for it all the week. Just got done doing this. When I'm done doing this, go pick the kids up, cut their hair, clean up the shop to get ready for Bam's wine tasting that too. Do this whole wine tasting thing, close that down, clean the shop up again, then be home in time for her to get off the highway, make dinner, have everything, and wrap up Sunday night. You know what I'm saying? And I'm off today. You know what I'm saying? Entrepreneur life, man.
Episode 1 of Entrepre.Doer. I am Jason, owner of Promotion Media Group, Motion Sick Clothing, and J Raider TV, also known as J Raider. And today with me I have my good friend, mentor, community extraordinaire, businessman, entrepreneur, barber, husband, father, friend.
Father.
Talk your talk, man.
I like to say I'm a barber by trade, an entrepreneur by spirit, and a visionary by gift. And so
you work on that?
Yeah, I did. I did practice that, man. Shout out to Tristan, man, for pushing me in that direction, man, for really making me feel like, not just feel, because I felt like it, but really making me openly embrace being who I am without worrying so much about being perceived as an egotistical type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always been pretty outgoing, always been pretty vocal, but I didn't want to, once I moved into like a professional space, I didn't want to come with so much bravado that was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
You know
so you
what
were
I'm saying?
concerned about people thinking you were too arrogant, too egotistical? Or?
Yeah, too arrogant, because nobody likes arrogance. I don't even like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as somebody comes across as a little over the top, you like, what has he done? What have you really done? Like,
check your resume.
Yeah, what are you standing up here pounding your chest on? You know, and so just finding that line and being comfortable with saying, yeah, I am a visionary, because I do see things before they happen, and I do make moves before things happen in a wave. You know what I'm saying? And so I may not necessarily be the trendsetter, but I tend to peep things a little earlier.
Right. And
I don't know where that comes from except for by gift.
Yeah. So did you already know that you might be a visionary and you were kind of fighting that off, or was that something you hadn't considered yourself to be before?
I had never even used the term for myself.
Okay.
Bam called me that. Tristan called me that one time. We was talking, and we was just talking about all the projects we be having going on, and I don't even remember what idea it was, but threw an idea out there, and he was like, bro, you are such a visionary. And I was like, ooh, that's a heavy title, bro. Like, I don't know about that. And you know the homie, he's like, man, we ain't taking no fucking mediocrity.
Right.
Like, you either gonna grab it or what? He's like, the fuck is that? And I was like, yeah, you're right, I am. I do see things before they happen, and I do have a certain amount of vision that allows me to stay a step ahead. You know what I'm saying? And so just openly embracing that and calling myself that. And so when people ask that, I could be able to say, well, even just locally, things like Black empowerment is really a wave right now. And we had done it 3, 4, 5 years ago with the rebels trying to really, really, really push. And I think we was just a little too early. And just stuff like that, just peeping what's going on. Loudoun tend to be 3 to 5 years behind the curve. So as soon as I see something like nationally, I kind of try to move in, but
3 to 5 is generous. I
think technology keeps us 3 to 5 now.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but as far as getting on board with the whatever the movement is and whatever the social activism wave is, you're definitely right. 3 to 5 is definitely. Well, I mean, that just comes with where we're at. That's another conversation.
Yeah.
But so getting back to hearing and being comfortable with what other people have titled you, do you feel like that's a charge? Like now you're kind of obligated to live up to that, or just realizing that you've always been so?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've always been. I realized after accepting that, it's something I've always been. So I don't feel charged to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just something that happens. Like me and you can start talking about any idea that you have, and I'm like, have you thought of this? Yeah. And so it's a gift. Yeah. It's not something that can run out of. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't never operate with it from a stingy point. It's just an abundance thing. Like, because sometimes you may talk to me about something that I have absolutely nothing to do with, and me just being like, well, have you thought about adding this to it or something? Like, it don't do nothing for me, whether you take it or not. And sometimes I don't even remember that I told you. You know what I'm saying? I got clients, we talk about something.
I could attest to this.
You know, and you be like, yeah, blah,
we
blah.
talked about that.
I was like, oh, okay. You like, yeah, man, you really inspired me. And I'm like, I was just talking.
Glad to do it, man.
I'm glad I helped. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it for. I don't plant the seed in order to come back and eat the fruit. You know what I'm saying? If I plant the seed, it's planted. You know, if I happen to drive back down that highway, I'm like, damn, I might even just look at the tree, like, that's a nice apple tree, man.
Right. Then you remember you.
Yeah, and then somebody be like, yeah, buddy, planted. Yeah, let me go back and get one of them. Like, I do need to get one. You know, so I don't have a problem with embracing it.
Yeah, so let's jump right into it. Now we're talking about being a visionary. We talked about being a barber. You said barber first.
Barber, right.
Barber
by trade. Yeah,
barber by trade.
I said barber by trade, entrepreneur by spirit.
Sure. So just define what each of those mean. We kind of touched on the visionary a little bit, and we'll get back to the rebels here in a second.
Right.
That was something that was good, like you mentioned.
Right.
The community wasn't quite ready for that. So let's kind of just define each of those. Barber by trade.
It's the trade that I chose. I'm a barber. Yeah. Man, I love it. I never have a day where I go to work and be like, oh, I don't want to do this today. Mm-hmm. Like 15 years later, I'll still wake up and more than happy to go to the shop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you can't hate it and get up at 4 a.m.
No, but you could. You could. I mean, plenty of people have certain hours they have to work to provide to, you know, to make things happen. If you have a 5 a.m. shift every day, 5 days a week, and you up at 4 every day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even earlier. If you got shit to do, you got to pre-make your kids breakfast or all the stuff that goes on into running your life. You know, and so it comes with that. But entrepreneur by spirit. Man, I love to hustle. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I love it feeds my spirit to have something else going on, even if it ain't nothing super big. Like right now, the coaching program we working on, it ain't huge. We got 2 people, you know what I'm saying? Or 3 people, my bad. We got 3 people we work with. They doing fine, starting to make a couple $100 a month on their businesses. So it's growing, but it's not nothing massive, but just the hustle of building it, of helping something grow and watching it, and it just keeps me thriving. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm a barber by trade, an entrepreneur by spirit, and visionary by gift.
By gift, yeah. So the by gift stuff is something that you can't fake. And
yeah, you can't.
You can't force.
You can't force. You can learn a trade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't force
entrepreneurship. I don't know.
It's true.
I don't know if you can learn it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can learn it.
Yeah.
But I think other people are more geared to be better at it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You can learn what it takes to fulfill the charge, but I feel like it takes a certain unfabricated sense of, I want to do this. I have what it takes to do this. That's the kind of stuff that isn't built by yourself inside you. Like it has to be there. Like the foot in your own back to get out there and just do it.
Right.
You know, you can learn everything else once you're out there.
Right.
But once you have to be able to get there. And that's the part that people lack.
But I am noticing that way too, of like entrepreneurship is turning into the rock star type shit. Yeah. It's everybody's like, oh, you need to. And I think that's dangerous.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know yourself, it costs. You know what I'm saying? It's a roll of the dice. You might hit some, you might not. And, you know, everybody can't take, first of all, the financial loss, but even past that, like taking the L.
It's a toll on your spirit.
It's a toll on you, man. You know what I'm saying? To have something, because most times as an entrepreneur, you're passionate about what you're doing. So you putting your baby together and giving it to the market, to the world. You know what I'm saying?
They don't like it.
And when they don't like it, it's hurt. It hurts. Somebody tell you your baby ugly, like, what? Yeah,
did a lot of work on this baby.
That's a nice stroller,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Looks good.
It's a dope stroller, bro. Like, it sucks, and so everybody can't take that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is back to what we were just talking about. Some people are just too scared to try, because if they know self-awareness, man. Jacoby Ryan said this, like.
Shout out to my guy.
Shout out to the homie Fresh. I'm still calling Fresh. I know he don't.
My name is Fresh, and I'm
man, that's it. That's legendary for me. I love that. But he had said one time, he said, entrepreneurship is just self-development wrapped up in capitalism.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's so true.
That's a dude that can
you
They can
gotta
drop some
really
lines
know,
to you.
man, what?
Yeah.
Man, that young dude is sharp, like
He's sharp.
super sharp.
Yeah.
I mean, and so you have to know yourself, and that's some people know that I can't handle that.
So entrepreneurship is self-development wrapped up in capitalism.
Right.
Explain that for the people.
So that means how I took it. You have to ask him because he's
Sure.
he coined it. But for me, I took it as because I firmly believe that to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to be self-aware. You have to know, like, people were like, "Oh, you don't have limits." Bullshit. You have limits.
Sure.
Like, you have limits. You have things you will do, you won't do, you can do, and you can't do. Like, you have a family. You physically cannot work but so much. You know what I'm saying? Before it takes a toll on that type of thing. And so, you have to have that self-awareness in order to really, really grow in entrepreneurship. But in entrepreneurship, it is business.
Yeah.
So you have to have capital. You have to participate in the capitalistic system. And so the blending of the two is basically how I took the thing. Like, if you're good at self-awareness and you're good at self-development, you're probably going to be good at entrepreneurship if you can stay good on the business.
Right.
Once it works all together, then you should be good, and you should reach that that groove, that happy space that every entrepreneur is looking for. While I'm making money, I have time to my family, I have time to myself. I have all the dream that I have. I have all the material things, I have all the non-material things, like, and so you just feel like you won, you winning.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying? Where you're in a winning space.
Yeah. So when it comes to the the business side and the self-awareness side, I have something that may be beneficial to anyone out there who's dealing with entrepreneurship or thinking about it. It's important to know that it's rare for someone to have all of those things in himself. What I mean is, I'm good at having the ideas and I'm good at making things jump, but I'm not necessarily the best guy to handle the books and deal with the money.
Oh yeah.
And, and because I know that self-awareness,
Self-awareness.
I know that it's okay for me to outsource for that thing.
Yes.
And like I'm in the digital advertising space, I'm in the videography space. A lot of people take that to mean most of the time that I can do graphic design. I'm not a graphic designer, bro. I just can't do it. It's in the same arena,
Right.
but it doesn't sit on that road with me.
Right.
It's up a couple sections.
Right. Gotcha.
In my brain. I
Right.
can't graphic design. Kobe Ryan, he's good at graphic design.
Right.
He can do websites.
Right.
He can do a lot of the things that I can do. He and I are actually competitors in the space to a degree for the digital marketing space.
Right.
But he's a better designer. So I've actually been in a position before where I'm running a digital advertising effort for a client, and I pay him to do my designs.
Oh yeah.
Because I know I'm not good at
if he's
that.
better at it, then
Sure.
yeah, let's collaborate. Yeah.
Exactly. So pushing your pride to the side and
Right.
knowing what you're good at, compartmentalizing those things and harnessing those things, and knowing what you're not good at as part of the same business,
Right.
and being okay with outsourcing those things to someone else who's better at it,
Yeah.
is one of the keys to success
In life,
as an entrepreneur.
in life. Back to self-awareness, just self-development. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a key for life. So that translates for me with my personal life. Like, I can generate the money, but I still have very bad spending habits if I have all the money.
Right.
Like, me and my wife, when we first got married,
Don't get me
we had a
wrong.
goal of saving a certain amount of money every year. First couple of years, we failed. I was in charge of the money. Fell short. The third year, I was like, man, let's let you handle everything. We've overshot the goal every single year since then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And my whole thing was, as long as I don't feel like I have to ask for my own money, then we good. You know, and so knowing that, hey, I'm trying to reach a certain goal and I don't seem to be able to do it. So I either got two options. I can outsource it to somebody I think is going to do a better job than me, or I can take the time, which is going to cost money and all these other things, to actually learn a budgeting system, or to go by a Dave Ramsey program or whatever it is, and figure it all out. For me, it was better just to let my wife handle it.
Yeah.
We're doing so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The
Sure.
same thing in business, man. If you know that you're great at creating, but you're not great at the business part, you might need a business manager.
Yeah.
So somebody's like, hey man, I need you to do a video for me. Hey man, yeah, here, contact my manager. So he can be that buffer and be like, this is the price. I don't care if you see Jason every week.
Right.
Because guess what Jason's gonna tell you? Call me.
Right.
That's it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so that self-awareness is key. It's super key.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, it's the key.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't identify what's gonna make you tick, I don't know how you gonna get past the emotional part.
Right.
You know, because there's a joy to getting started.
Ton of emotion.
You know, but there, you know, like we've all, I don't know if everybody's seen it, but me and you have talked about the actual what people think success looks like, and then the whole ride of entrepreneurship. Oh, I'm up $1,000 today. Hell yeah, I'm gonna be rich. And then it costs you $1,500 tomorrow. You're like, damn, I'm down. No, man, I don't know if I should be doing this. I've spent all this money. I'm wasting my time. This dude ain't getting paid. He counting on me. And like, you know, the pressure of being the CEO and the COO and the head of HR and the head of marketing and the head of this and all the hats that you wear. Once the excitement of it wears off, you have to have something there that you have to know what's going to make you tick to keep you going.
Sure.
You
So
know?
sometimes do you need to just jump into it on your own to figure that out and then come back to the drawing board and say, okay, next time I'm going to have this plan in place? Because let me tell you my story. My story was...
You got to assess that risk.
Yeah, that's true. My story is going into something individually, full throttle.
Right.
Because I don't have a business degree, man. Like I'm not a business. I'm not a business.
Barber license is all I got.
Right. I wasn't a business-minded individual. I just knew the basics of I've got something that's demanded.
Right.
And I've got a way to supply it.
Right.
And I know how to sell it. So I'm going to do that.
Right.
What I learned quickly was there are 4 or 5 other hats that need to be worn in order for this business to work. And I learned it the hard way. So don't get me wrong, it's not over. It didn't fail.
Right.
Because we don't take no losses. Shout to Motions and Clothing by the
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But going back to the drawing board and saying, here's what didn't work last time because of XYZ. Here's how we're going to fix it this time.
Right.
And I'm going to put you in place for this, and you in place for this, and you in place for this, and the budget in place to handle all of that.
Right.
Don't take, for all you out there listening, don't take a failure in one thing as a total failure. Because everything can teach you something on how to fix it later.
Oh, yeah. We just talked about this on Tap In Tuesdays. Shout out to Hustle Analytics.
We'll get there.
Yeah, there we go. Plugs, baby, plugs. Tap In Tuesdays at 8 o'clock a.m.
But every business has employees.
Yeah, even if you are.
So be okay to use others to help your dream come to fruition.
That's the point. That's what you paying them for. That's what they part of the team for.
Right.
Like, I don't put a lot on my barbers to do. You know what I'm saying? But when I ask, even sometimes I don't even ask. They'll just look out. Like, usually I clean the shop up real good on Sunday mornings. Last Sunday I woke up, Kobe and Chris had texted our group chat and was like, hey, bro, don't worry about cleaning the shop. We got it.
Yeah.
Relax. Enjoy your day off.
Cool. Shout out to Kobe.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kobe. Shout out to Chris. But if I need to, I can say, hey, man, I'm too busy today, man. Y'all need to clean the shop up.
Right.
And they don't have a problem with it.
Sure.
So yeah, you gotta know, who's good at what. With Hustle Analytics, we just talked about that. Like, you have to know that Bam is better. Tristan is better at curating the content once we all talking. He know how to cut it up, make it funny, add stuff. Cool. I don't really do all that. I don't have the time or the knowledge or the effort. Like, I'm gonna give you what I can as far as motivation. I'm gonna lead you. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna do more of an arm extension of what I do as a barber and motivate you, and that's it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But Sachiko, on the other hand, is the person that's gonna handle all the paperwork. Our LLC is done. This is done. Here's the bank account. It's connected to this and that. Hey, y'all sign this non-disclosure. Sign this. Sign that. So, like you said, knowing who's gonna play what, and that's just vital. Even if you're not, because we was just talking about being the boss and then having employees. Even if you're teaming up with people, that's even more important, because when you're teaming up with people, sometimes, like with the Rebels, we teamed up around the passion for something, right? So we didn't necessarily have the best people for the jobs that were necessary to make it work. But with Hustle Analytics, me and Bam purposely looked for, hey, look, okay, you're good at this, I'm good at that. We still need A, B, and C. We need to look for people that's going to be able to do that and are going to be willing to do that, like, because we can.
Right.
So you got to make sure that you know the pieces, self-awareness, and put them all together right in the self-development, I guess, and then you'll be ready to kind of jump.
Sure. Know what your strengths are. Know who to put into place as a team. Even Michael Jordan needed Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he needed more than Scottie. He needed
everybody.
Yeah, he needed everybody.
He
John
needed
Paxson
Phil.
was fucking
He needed
key.
Phil.
He needed Phil.
Which goes into coaching,
Which
is what you've gotten into recently.
Right.
Is that Hustle Analytics or is that something else?
No, that's Hustle Analytics.
Okay.
So Hustle Analytics is the coaching firm. And back to what we all have a strength in. I have a strength in teaching you to come from, like you, like we're zero. We don't have a business degree. This is how you're going to jump off the porch. This is what you have a passion for. This is probably how you should shape it. This is how you should assess the risk. Can you afford to lose $5,000 right now? Well, if not, then you should wait. You should do something else first. And get you that buffer, because if you jump off this porch and lose $5,000, I don't want you to be homeless and break up your marriage and you know. So I teach more just ground level entrepreneurship. Tristan is going to be more fitness and life coaching, and he does a lot of like teaching you how to move in the corporate spaces, because you know he worked for DHS. He does a lot of both. So he's a mixture of everything. Amanda is more like your spiritual life coach, and then Sash is going to be more straight up business. Like, do you have your LLC? Do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have your operating agreement? Do you know what the operating agreement is? Like, getting all of that stuff lined up, and by extension, her husband does logo work and all of those type of stuff. So we got a pretty dope team of coaches.
Yeah. So what made you want to get in? What made you all want to start this up and get into coaching?
Man, me and Bam just love the people, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just love to do it for the people. And we had got burned out with what we call free activism. So, like, you know, your brother knows the hard work that goes into getting funding and all of that, which is so crazy to me now that I kind of know how it works. Like, people are like, oh, create a nonprofit. Well, yeah, you still got to go to the for-profits and get the money. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of was like, well, let's not do the nonprofit thing again. Let's be for-profit.
Right.
And in doing that.
And by the way, nonprofit doesn't mean they don't need money. So donate to your favorite nonprofit.
Shout out to the Great 5A.
Great 5A.
Straight up. Yeah, so we just was like, look, I'm cool on having to do all the actual business paperwork to not be a business and then have to go ask a business. Like, man, that's a lot. I'm cool. I don't want to have to create no board. Right. And, you know, all the stuff that goes into that, we was like, man, we just do it ourselves. That turned into just talking about it. It was like, yeah, we'll do something. And then one day I put on Facebook, I forgot who was even in my chair, but one day I put on Facebook, I was like, man, I might need to get paid for all this business coaching I be doing. And Bam was like, bet, let's do it. Yeah, you should. And sends a link to a life coaching program. I'm like, all right, yeah, I bet. I'll look it up.
Make this happen.
Right, and the program was cheap. It was like, I think $100, $150 or something like that. I was like, yeah, I'll get on it next week. My wife jumps right on the post and was like, nah, we got $150.
Let's do it.
So Bam was like, oh, we doing it now.
Yeah.
And man, the homie's brain is so wildly efficient. He a couple hours later he hits me, he's like, well, I bought the program. I'm like, all right, cool. So we bought a program. I bought my program. It's supposed to be a 6-week program. Bam hit me in 2 days.
Really?
And I was like, I'm done.
Really?
And I was like, what? All right, well, give me a couple weeks. And he was like, all right. Hits me in 2 more days. I was, here go the answers. And I'm like, all right.
You got tired of waiting.
You got tired of waiting, bro. The homies, with efficiency. Like, he should try to get with Jacoby Ryan and figure out a way to teach a course on brain efficiency. I don't know how the hell his brain micromanages tasks and gets them knocked out. Like, man, his multitask game is crazy.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, you teach me a thing or two.
Bruh. Yeah. I mean, man, crazy. So he was like, nah, then we're gonna start doing life coaching. He was like, all right, cool. At the same time, Zay, shout out to Ozzy's Tech Mobile.
Yeah, hey Zay.
Hey Zay.
That's my guy.
Yeah, that's the homie. He's telling me what he want to do. He had been talking about that for a while.
Years.
Like, I'm gonna do it. So I'm like, listen, I'm finna start being a business coach. You're gonna be my guy. I'm gonna help you do this shit. We're gonna stop talking about it and get it going.
Right.
So he was like, all right, cool. And then my man James Parker, shout out to Edible Arrangements. I'm telling him, like, hey, I'm finna get into this. And he's always supported what I'm doing. He's like, hey, you can use me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can work with me. That's a brand you can work with. And then I'll have like all the real analytics to say, hey, y'all up my gross by 20-some% or however this works. I was like, all right, cool. So those are the two people we started with. And I don't know the percentage of what P&M is up over at Edible Arrangements, but they definitely up. And Zay has gone from 0 to last month he did around $500 on the business, just as a side hustle. And so, shoot, today we're gonna meet at 2. Me and Bam, we're gonna talk some more. We're gonna have a wine taste, so we're gonna talk some more. But pretty soon we're gonna have like our launch for Hustle Analytics as an actual business. We also have a client that I didn't do no working with. Him and Sachiko worked with, named Trina, that has I want to say like healthy. I don't remember. She did something at the gym, so it had to be healthy. I can't remember what it was. Man, and I'm so sorry, Trina, but I didn't work with her hands on. She just worked with the other part of the firm. But she's doing a couple $100 a month. So I mean, this feels good. Like, feels like we got something here. Got something that's gonna help other people. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we're gonna make some money, but to help people, like you say, jump off their porch and be like, man, it is scary and it is a lot of work, but it's also cool to have a community of people that I can talk to and that understand what I'm gonna be dealing with, and you know, like, because we say in the program, like, oh, you only get this amount of interaction because you only bought this package, bro. Man, come on, bro. Like, I fuck with what we got going on. It's a passion thing. So if you text me and being like, man, I just don't know what I got going on, I might even, as I say, I'll text him sometimes 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, like, bro, you need to think about doing this. It'd be 1 o'clock in the afternoon before he texts me back. I'm like, damn, bro, what you been doing? Oh, I slept in. Why? You know, now we have to have a talk about productivity, your time, you know, and so, man, the coaching is just a help thing. Like, it's back to, it's activism, but it's not spending us for free. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're asking for a bunch of money, but it's just making sure that when I am helping, I'm not spending all my family's time giving it away for free. Or just, you know, and I understand for the cause and for the people and all that, but time is valuable, man. You can't get it back.
It's a business.
It's a business.
No, Hustle Analytics is not a nonprofit.
No, it is not a nonprofit. I'm like T.I. Like, people ask him about what you ever do with politics? He said, I am in the for-profit business.
Absolutely.
I can't do that. Now I will have influence, but
Shout out to the nonprofits. We're not throwing shade. We're just saying that.
No, man, I'm just saying,
can afford to do all that.
I'm just saying, shout out to the nonprofits, man, because that's still a business. It's a different structure, but it's still all the work, all the paperwork, all the things that you have to do to make it run. You know what I'm saying? To be a not-for-profit business is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So to me, actually, that might even take a level of passion beyond entrepreneurship. Now that I'm sitting here just thinking about it, because you're not getting no dividend. You're not getting no big check at the end of the day. Even if your nonprofit is making money, you may take a salary or something. You know what I'm saying? But
that's not considered profit, though. That's considered.
That's part of the operating costs. Like, you ain't getting no profit.
So there is a lot of
shout out to Jeff, man, that's wild. Like, that's a lot of work, dog.
Poetic Paul, Jeff Elder, Pastor Jeff, yes. AVO, everybody involved with the board over there at Grade 580. So let me tell you just a quick story about that. We'll have Jeff on episode 2. That's my brother, in case y'all didn't know that. In case you can't tell.
I'm sure that's gonna be hilarious. Y'all are a trip. Anytime I see y'all interacting on Facebook, I gotta go to the thread. I gotta go.
Yeah, that's my guy. So he came to me. It had to be close to 6-7 years ago now, maybe even longer, 2013ish, with the idea, Grade 580.
Right.
And obviously, I loved the idea. Part of me was listening to him, and I liked the idea, but part of me thought, well, he's not gonna have time to do this, bro. You know, he's going to school. He had a job at the time. He's working at the church almost full time too. He's not gonna have time to do that.
He with the Rick guy. They like helping the people do grass and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. So he was running 2 or 3 businesses for the church for no profit, all while launching a Grade 580, which became his passion. it's remarkable to see what it's become and the following that it's generated, because it is technically a fourth or fifth priority for the guy. So seeing that it's become what it's become as the number 5 seed is remarkable. So shout out to the Great Five, Pastor.
Yes, definitely.
So rewind a few years now to the Rebels.
Okay.
And activism.
Right.
In general. Your path toward wanting to become active in the community of Law Enforcement.
It started with Trayvon Martin. And
Long
time ago. That was the incident that really just made me just like, man, I gotta do something. Like, it started with talking like everybody else, and of course understanding, looking at the dissension of people that you had known and went to school with, and like, damn, this is how you really view it. Like, everything everybody was going through at that time.
Was it the act itself or the acquittal of Zimmerman?
Both. I think it was the act that spawned the, like, man, something needed. The act spawned all those conversations. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And
why did it go down this way?
Yeah, and it spawned a lot of conversations, and then the acquittal. By the time the acquittal had come, it had been so much talking that it was like, man, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be some action behind. I can't just be cussing people out on Facebook. Right. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. It was funny. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But there's gonna come a point where, you know, it's back to being able to see things. Like, I could kind of see that, like, this is gonna be altering in history. Like, I think there's gonna be a movement. Like, this is, you know, because at the time it was like, man, it was just polarizing. There was something I watched one time that was talking about black folks during the civil rights era, and how, you know, we like to romanticize every black person was down for the cause. But it's some of y'all grandpas that wasn't with that shit. That was like, I ain't doing it. Niggas crazy. Blah, 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 blah. And so I feel like if we're going to come in that moment in history, I didn't want to be the person that wasn't with it. You know what I'm saying? I want my kids to look back and my grandkids to look back and be like, man, grandpa was about that. Like, he did something.
Sure.
And so we just got started with I remember the first thing that we did as a group was paint the municipal pool. Somebody had did a bunch of marking on it, and I was talking shit about it on Facebook. So I was like, well, what you gonna do? I was like, well, y'all meet me up there tomorrow. I bought a paint. We'll paint it tomorrow. Like, it's just paint, bro. It's simple. And so many people showed up to help. I was like, oh, wow, okay. And then Bam, Bree, Tristan, everybody was like, hey, we need to kind of galvanize this and get it going. So we started with that, but even that started originally as a black economic empowerment thing. Like, we were gonna do activism and raise money, and then start the business with the money. And we just ended up getting so sidetracked with activism that wasn't doing anything to generate any money. It's just, man, this happened. We tried doing the garden to help with the fresh food desert and all these things, and it was like, man, it kind of got burnt out, and it was taking so much time. You know, I'm only off of work on Sundays, and so some of my Sundays, it was like literally a month of Sundays where my family don't see me, and it was like, this ain't paying off. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be the head of the black community, but my house is falling apart. Right? Sure. Not that it was, but anyway, shout out to my wife, who was great. You know what I'm saying? She's super dope. That. Yeah, no, she's super dope. Like, she's always been like, oh, I love what you're doing. Do it. Yeah. But there's something in me that be like, I ain't seen you. Right. Like, fuck that. I ain't doing that. And so we just kind of let it wane off. But it started with the Trayvon Martin thing. The Trayvon Martin murder and the acquittal of George Zimmerman, and just deciding that, man, we just got to do something. And we tried so many other things since then. You know, me and your brother have been in plenty meetings about stuff. It's just hard to get the community to get to stay down past that moment of emotional attachment. You know what I'm saying? Like, something happens. The incident that happened in January, the young black man got killed by LPD over at the, Lavish Lounge, right? Of course, some people hit me up, and I was like, look, I'm concerned. I'm going to reach out and talk to who I can, but I don't want to jump all the way out here and go hard at least let me give it 30 days and see how is the community still going to be on it. Sure. And here we are about 45 days later, and probably only his family is still like pulling for it. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, what I noticed was I would do stuff like that, and then at this point where it's 30, 45 days later, I'd be kind of salty at the rest of the community, like, man, y'all ain't really about making something happen. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want me to go do it.
Right.
But, and then just that's it. Like, but it doesn't work that way. I know y'all would love to think I have all that influence, and I would love to just be able to walk in the door and be like, hey, that's wrong, fire him. You know, it would be great, but that ain't how this works. You know what I'm saying? And so kind of had to get away from that and just let that go away. Not go away, but let that kind of simmer down and decide, okay, let's get back to the economic empowerment thing, but how are we going to do that and make sure we stay on track with that? You know, and that was starting with business, starting helping people build their businesses and understanding that this is business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you're starting from a business aspect, nobody's expecting anything for free.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you may do some bartering with other business owners, but nobody's expecting you to do anything for free. And so that's a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for a lot of, for profit. A lot of people they just want someone to lead them. Right. So when you're comparing and contrasting the differences between the startup of the rebels in Latin America and a gigantic, enormous global effort like Martin Luther King's.
Right.
That was Dr. King's full-time job.
Yes.
Every single day, 24 hours a day. So, and do you think that if he had taken a week off, that they would have met him back in a week? I don't believe so. I mean,
no, if he'd have took a lot of downtime, it would have
had the same impact.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have had the same impact. So, and that was kind of one looking at. Matter of fact, shout out to Robert Peterson, fine art.
He's super cold.
Super cold. The homie gave me a. I think I bought that little piece. I can't remember, but if he did give it to me, thank you so much. I'm so blessed to have a friend that did that. It was a Martin Luther King. It was a marker piece. And I was just sitting chilling one night. I'm looking at him, man, just admiring it. But it made me think, like, I wonder how much shit Coretta had to deal with. Just with him being gone. And so I kind of started looking into that, and it made me realize, like, man, this man gone for months. Like, he ain't been home in 7 months, and he's home for a weekend, and then he's gone again. So, it's like, man, I don't want that for my family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to try to put my wife through no shit like that. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
And so that made me understand that my activism was gonna have a cap.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? And so with that cap, I'm gonna do what I can.
Sure.
And once I get close to that cap, that's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that alleviated a lot of guilt, because I noticed when you get into activism, something happens and you feel there's a moment where you feel like, I gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? Because I put myself in this position. I gotta speak up. But no, it ain't chose. I mean, you chose that job. You ain't got to, and you can choose to be like, no,
right.
I'm not tapping in on this one.
That is when you set your own cap.
Yeah, you set your own cap. So,
which really, I mean, you set your own cap at everything. But how successful do you want to be?
Right.
Which is true for every avenue of entrepreneurship, of activism, of business. Like, you have free will to set your own cap.
Right.
How successful do you want to be?
Right. And how much are you willing to give? How much are you willing to sacrifice?
Now, I will say that our day and age is obviously much further technologically advanced than Dr. King's was. Right. So your cap can be lower now, and you can still have an impact greater than you believe you have.
Right.
So on the outside looking in, I can tell you that your impact is probably greater than you feel it is, just because of social media and word of mouth is much further enhanced now.
Right.
So it's okay to have, obviously, you don't want to sacrifice things like family time. You don't want to sacrifice your own business. I want you to feel encouraged that though you may feel like you've had to cap, your impact is greater than you feel it might be. So keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
Maximize the cap, because you're having a better impact than you may feel you do.
Okay.
And that's true with any kind of moving back to the business side of social media. That's true for any real impact on social media channels, on the internet. altogether, we talked about this before too, is just because you're not getting the numbers doesn't mean people aren't seeing it. You're not getting the like numbers or the share numbers. Just continue to do what you're doing, especially from an activism standpoint, especially from a not-for-profit standpoint, like the Great 580s. I had the same conversation with him recently. Don't marry yourself to the numbers.
Right.
Because more people are seeing it than you feel are.
Yeah. Well, that's sometimes you get wrapped up in it because you're not really looking for the numbers. You're looking for a way to quantify the impact.
Sure.
Well, see, what I learned is that's not even, like you said, once I learned to detach myself from the numbers, I was like, all right, look, I'm going to just take it for when people say, I appreciate it.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Or I saw you say this.
Right, yeah.
And it really helps me.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? And so when I got a guy that's sitting in my chair and he's like, just the other day, a guy named Matt. It's like, man, we had that conversation about me leaving Goodyear, man. It really got me going. I did not even remember the conversation. I was like, bro, you gotta catch me up. I don't remember. He's like, man, there was another guy here. And I asked him what he did. He said nothing. Blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I had apparently gave this guy a whole entrepreneurial, motivational, ET inspired speech that was like, you could do it, blah, 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 blah. He left that day, went and filed for his LLC. Went and bought a truck here recently, like he's about to get into hot shotting trucks. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah. Great. You know what I'm saying? Just needed that kick in the back, you know, and just needed somebody to tell him like, well, what you need to do is assess the risk. You know, if you think you can stand to lose a couple $1,000s trying it, then try it. Yeah. Just know if you lose it, there's like any investment show you watch, it starts out with a disclaimer that's like, investment has risks. This is an investment. Right. You know what I'm saying? You could do it and be like, nah, it doesn't work. Nobody hires you, or you wreck the truck and whatever, anything can happen. But as long as you have done an assessment of the risk and know, hey, I can take that L if it happens. The absolute worst happens is this. I can handle it. Right. I say take off, try it.
Shout out to everybody that's on the path of entrepreneurship or thinking about it.
Definitely.
If you're thinking about it, or if you're just starting, or if you've been doing it for a while and you feel like you need some help, Hustle Analytics.
Holla at us, man. Holla at us, man. We love to help you get it going. I mean, whether it's a like you said, whether it's a brand, you're a franchise, whether it's an existing entity that you already have, or if you just have an idea, you know what I'm saying? We love it, man. If you're thinking about it, man, hit us up.
Sure.
Yeah, hit us up, because we itching to help somebody build something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We itching to have people win. Yeah, it's a great feeling to be winning, bro. Like, it's dope.
Yeah, shout out to Hustle Analytics, DJ, Tristan,
Sachiko, and Amanda.
Yeah, shout out to the whole team.
Yeah.
So last thing, what's next, man? What's on the plate for the barbershop, for the Hustle, for the DJ?
Well, for the barbershop, we have 15 barbers now. Got 5 chairs open. We still hiring. Ice Trace Barbershop. We are hiring licensed
Ice Trace gang.
Ice Trace the gang, baby. So we still got 5 chairs open. We are hiring. The business is growing great, man. I mean, even with 15 barbers, some days it's like, oh man, so many walk-ins here. Like, fuck. So I mean, that's a great problem to have. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Great problem. For Hustle Analytics, we are about to officially launch as a business. We ain't got a date yet, but you know, we're gonna throw some type of party, soiree, probably some wine, champagne tasting, some good sophisticated, you know what I'm saying?
Sophisticated.
Yeah, man, because you know, we are a very unique brand of coaching. Yeah. Like, now that I'm really just looking at us, we started out, it was like, oh, we're gonna be this pristine, you know, but back to personal branding, like, me and Bam cuss. Like, there's no way you're gonna have an hour-long session with us and neither one of us cuss. So fuck it, just
how you talk.
That's how we talk. So we're gonna launch that, be taking on clients officially. I'm gonna say by the summer for sure. We almost done. He's almost done writing the curriculum. Like, just that. Sure. Like, the guy got a full-time job. Is writing a book a month, putting out a book a month, and then still doing our curriculum. Among his kid got a clothing line. His kid just launched the EP. Like, man, the multitask kid, bro, is a beast.
Yeah, we hope to get him on the show soon. Shout out to Tristan.
Yeah, man, we'll make that happen for sure. We'll make that happen, bro. Got to. I mean, man, might even have to just do a whole Hustle Analytics.
I'm with
Bring the squad.
Bring Jacoby Ryan on too. We'll do a circle table, round table.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. And then as for me as a barber, man, sometime, speaking of Jacoby Ryan, he's gonna help me build my website, get my digital footprint. I'm gonna be launching my my personal barbering website, and it's gonna be basically what we was talking about today: barber by trade, entrepreneur by spirit, visionary by gift. So
it'll be a personal brand that encompasses all of that.
Yeah, it'll be a personal brand. It'll be that. It'll be fashion. I'm finna work with New York Fashions on like suits and cause I turned 40. I started dressing a little different. I still wear hoodies, of course. Shout out to my ego.
Yeah, shout out
to this is my skinny hoodie too, by the way. So.
Yeah, shout out to Graham's Fitness.
Shout out to Graham's. I got a lot of shout outs, man. I got a great entrepreneurial circle, bro.
Network.
Like my entrepreneur network is a beast. Like I can't even front, man. It's like every space I go to or everything that I do is dealing with another entrepreneur, and they're so motivated. Like I get up and Adam's already at the gym. It's 4:00 in the morning and I'm dealing with another entrepreneur. We in there grinding. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my guy Freedom Johnson down in Dallas, man. His wife is actually from here, so he does a lot of traveling back and forth, but he's in real estate. And man, we just have a round table of entrepreneurs that when we get together, it's like ideas and motivation and and so that's kind of what we're doing with Hustle Analytics too, is like giving the public a chance that if you're into entrepreneurship to join that community, to be able to tap in with us, tap in Tuesdays at 8:00 a.m. and talk about the things that make entrepreneurship hard or make it worth it or make it what you need or just all of that type of stuff, man, that community. Because with it becoming a wave nationally, I know here it's going to be a wave in another 2 or 3 years.
3 to 5 years.
You know what I'm saying? 3 to 5 years. And I would like to have a strong entrepreneur community for people to be able to jump off the porch into. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be like, hey man, when are y'all having those get-togethers?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you can come and it don't be like class. It'd be like, oh, I'm going to kick it.
Right. Just talk.
It's just, I'm just going to kick it and have some wine. But this is somebody's hustle that the wine is going on. And we're in somebody else's building and they doing this and they doing that. And the art on the wall is from Robert. And the snacks are from Edible Arrangements. And the videography is by Jay Rader. And, all these things. So it helps keep you driven. You know what I'm saying? And you can ask the questions that you've been asking because you've been watching YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Having a support system. Having a community is huge.
Yeah.
Like that sense of community, because entrepreneurship can feel lonely. Like when you're not part of an entrepreneur community and everybody else in your circle is working straight 9 to 5s, they don't understand some of the stuff that you're doing. They don't understand the investment to brand building. Like, well, you spent $2,000. How much did you make? Well, I didn't expect cash from that investment. I understood that putting that in was going to be knowledge, was going to be networking, was going to be an opportunity somewhere maybe down the line. I didn't invest it to come back as $2,500. You know what I'm saying? And so, but a person that's working a strict 9 to 5, the strict corporate life, doesn't understand that. They think, well, I'm putting this money in. I need to see the quantified number of what's coming out. You know what I'm saying? And so, just having a community that can help you navigate that space. That's what's next for me and the homies that I fuck with. And that's where we at.
Awesome. Well, this has been great, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man.
Episode 1. Entrepre.Doer, man. Jay Rader TV.
Shout out to the series, Jay Rader TV.
We brought some mimosas to bring it in. Episode 1.
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes you may have to have a little sip of something to keep you motivated also in a long day of tasks.
Right, for sure. So, shout out to you guys, man. Jay Rader TV. I am Jason, Promotion Media, Motion State Clothing, DJ, Ice Trade Barbershop, Hustle Analytics.
All of that. Yeah, I have too many. That's something else I gotta work on. I gotta work on how to even when I do my Thursday starts, I'm like, hey, DJ here, entrepreneurship coach at Hustle Analytics inside Ice Trade's Barbershop. It's like
did I forget one?
I'm making sure I didn't forget I'm just left Graham's Fitness.